Welcome back to Muse After Hours. We are so excited
to be here. So excited to be here. We have another special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Shane. I work with Julia at the Arizona location. And we've been working together for about the past year.
Yeah. We are so excited to have him on here because this is something we talk about a lot. Shane is a prime example of really trusting the process and pushing through hard times and persevering. He has displayed that so much in the last year. And so we'll just start. Shane, tell us how you found Muse and just give us
a little backstory.
Yeah, like a little quick, what's happened in the last year from when you found me till now.
So where I was at because I found Muse on, what was it? Not LinkedIn. What did we use?
Indeed.
We used Indeed. And that's how I found her. But at that point in my life, I was working a retail job because I had just moved to Arizona from New York. And the hair industry I wasn't working it right, and it wasn't serving me or anything like that. So I took a break for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And honestly, when it came to the point, it killed me. I was like, I love doing hair, and I don't know why I'm letting myself not do this. And she came across my path on Indeed. She sounded the most authentic, and I'm like, this is written by a real person.
I'm real.
Yeah,
you're real. Surprise.
But immediately, it read off. I'm just like, she is just as crazy about hair as I am. And she had the most involved process. She asked for a little video of me. I'm like, well, that's crazy. But
yeah, that's something that's definitely unique to our process to get hired at Muse. We have a whole 3-step process. You have to submit a video about yourself, which automatically deters a lot of people. But then, we have 2 in-person interviews. So it's a very in-depth process.
Oh, yeah. No, that 2-minute video took me 2 hours. I literally forgot my name. I didn't know who I was. I would listen to recordings of my voice, and I'm just like, oh, can't send that. Never mind.
Oh, my gosh. And I remember that video so well. I remember what he was wearing. I remember everything. And I was actually shopping for Danielle. I was in Neiman Marcus or something, and I was getting Danielle a Christmas gift because we were about to go to her house for a Christmas party.
Yeah, but with how that you described Muse on there, you're like, we are the Rolls Royce and we are the Dior of hair. And I was like, that's what I want. I'm just I don't want the little mom and pop hole in the wall place. I don't want it to be hidden. I don't want it to be subtle. I don't want to be understated. No, I want it. And it's no, this is the spot. I want to be at the spot where people go to get good hair. And
well, you found it.
I found it. I did it. And but it also came to just surrendering to the process and knowing that I had given up on hair because it wasn't working for me and I couldn't figure out how to make it work. So I'm just I just have to give up everything that I thought I knew because clearly it's wrong and it's not working. I need to change everything.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what you were experiencing in the hair industry that led you to be specifically that led you to be I love this, but there's no way I can make a living or a career doing this.
I was first marketed in the penny saver at my first salon, and I was doing things for $10, doing full services for $10. I won't do anything for $10 anymore. Nothing. I was that was terrible. That was where I felt I had the feeling of progress and I had the visualization of oh, this is cool. People are in my chair. I'm doing haircuts. I'm doing blowouts. And I was going home with nothing. I made no money. I lived far away from my first salon. My commute to my first salon was 45 minutes. I was making just enough money to put gas in the massive Ford Explorer I was taking to work 10 miles to the gallon. And I was making just enough to get gas and food. And but visually it looked like everything was going right because people were in my chair. But they were paying $10 and they're tipping based on $10.
Yeah.
And they never came back. It was a one-time discount and I never saw them again. And
so a lot of busy work, no rewards for all the work that you're doing. So I can imagine you were getting pretty burnt out.
Yeah. And I was starting to have to figure out my own way. Like I was trying to figure out how other stylists were pricing themselves. And I started getting like just a little bit of backlash like from my coworkers at that time because I wasn't just following what they were doing. I'm like, no, I'm like, this isn't doing anything. I'm like, I was changing the way I was charging like so frequently and trying to figure out what works, like throwing things at the wall, seeing what stuck, nothing stuck.
So like knowing that, so one thing about Shane is he has been absolutely obsessed with hair, like since he could think for himself. He was playing with his sister's Barbie dolls and like the writing was on the wall, like his entire childhood. Like as soon as he like could be like, no, I'm not going to go to college, I'm going to go to beauty school, his mom was like, well, thank God.
This is where you're supposed to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything had already, all of my entertainment and free time was already encompassed by hair. Like 15-year-old Shane, go through his entire YouTube history. It was just looking up how girls were doing their hair.
Just hair tutorials and videos.
Just hair tutorials. Yeah. I was just watching people do their hair. I wasn't doing anyone's hair at that point. I was just watching people.
Yeah. And he was like, what, voted like best hair in high school or something?
Yeah. I did not have the best hair in high school. I was just changing my color that frequently. I was probably in the middle of science class with Manic Panic Purple stained on my forehead.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, no, there was no stain remover in my house. There was just 2 pounds of bleach, 40 volume developer, and a stock of Manic Panic. That was Shane at like 16, 17.
Yes. So it was obvious. The writing was on the wall. You were going to do something with hair. Always passionate about it.
Yeah.
So when you were like, this is never going to get me the life that I want, like that had to have been emotional.
Yeah.
So that like kind of let that part of you die.
Oh yeah. I sat alone at home and then I cried about it. I'm just like, nope, I'm like, this is what you have to do. People have to make hard decisions and they have to make sacrifices. And maybe this is just my sacrifice.
Yeah.
Until like I did it. I tried to commit to it for like the year and a half doing retail. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, things have gotten worse. Like mentally in my brain, like things were just terrible. I'm like, I hate everything. I hate the 40 hours a week I'm spending at this place. And there's nothing you can do outside of those 4 hours to make up for that.
So you found Miss Muse, because that's what he called me. He literally called
Muse.
me. He called me up and he goes, "Is this Miss Muse herself?" And I was like,
"Well, yes." Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I tried to hit her with the Riz.
Riz. Miss Muse, you got her with that one.
And it was only out of the fact that I'm just like, I'm making sure that what she was asking for on Indeed was actually legit. I was like, do I really have to make a 2-minute video? No one's ever asked that. And she's like, oh yeah, you do. Just send it to me whenever you can.
Yeah. So when we had our first interview, I was like, I mean, Cayenne, you know how I am. I'm like pretty passionate and really direct. And like, I think it's because I've been through this so much. So when I interview people, it's like, we're cutting to the chase and I'm not going to like fluff anything. Like when you're coming to work for Muse, it is hard work and we demand so much from you. And it's like, you're coming into a team. We're like a family and you have to be all in. Like there's no like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so I'm just sitting here. We met at his choice, Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, Julia. That I could totally see Julia. Just that's her normal go-to. Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I was like, we're meeting where? Come again?
I was new to Arizona and I didn't know any cute little coffee shop.
I'd never been to a Dunkin' Donuts.
I know, and the one we went to was pretty ratchet.
Yeah. So he comes in this like cute hat and you were wearing like those really fun bell bottoms that you have.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember what he was wearing. I'm good at remembering what people are wearing. So
you are.
I'm super intense and I knew I was intense. How did that feel for you?
Not so much intense. It was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, someone is matching my commitment to the hair industry. And just like to have someone who's just as passionate, because I had experienced other employers who were like 1 foot out the door. Like their plan was to like get away from hair. But you talked about like transformations and loving doing hair. Yeah. And I was like, oh, good. Like we're in the same boat.
So when you started to realize what was being asked of you, like we'll talk about the academy and the investment in the academy. And it's like, if you want to progress here and you want to be behind the chair, this is a requirement. You're going to go through the academy and it is a $15,000 investment. Tell us about what was going on.
What was your reaction to that?
I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, did I just fall into a scam? Did I just get looped into a school just so like looped into this with Julia? Someone can just take $15,000 from me? Because it was all really quick. The working interview was December 27th, and I was signed up for the academy by January 5th.
Yeah.
And so it was a few days, but like it came to the point like a lot of very quick and fast like obstacles in my mind came up, but then they were all just torn down by just the one thought of like, no, this is how you're going to be successful at hair. Surrender to the process. She's doing it right. You haven't been doing it right. So just follow her and do it.
But that was like, I mean, you kind of just brush over that. There was a lot of struggle with him.
Because that's a big, like, scary move. Like, you just met this person. She's telling you, in order to have this job, you have to sign up for this $15,000 academy all within a week. Like, that's a lot to take in.
There was a lot. There was like a mental breakdown. Like,
and I put him on a plane to come to Olympia.
Oh, yeah. Came up to Olympia so you could train with us and see, like, our day-to-day process. I remember that.
But I think that's how you knew I was, like, dead serious.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's not going to put me up in a hotel. She's not going to pay for my plane ticket if this is not the real deal, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of, like, that was it. And then also, like, seeing the process and seeing what you do. And just seeing the actual end result. Like, oh, okay. I was like, this end result is worth every dollar that these women are spending on it. And because this is like really high quality end product that we're giving. And just like the pieces very quickly just went together. Sometimes the negative like blocks in your brain just come up like as like just like warning signs for your brain. I don't know. Like,
red flags.
Yeah, like your brain's like interpreting things as red flags of like, hold on, caution, slow down. And
we like to be comfortable. People like to they know what they know, and they like to be comfortable and doing new things, scary things. It's like hard to push yourself out of that. So yeah, of course your brain is going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Are you sure about this?
Yeah. Like I'm sure like Kyan, you felt the same way because you said like, I remember talking with you, you weren't happy with the full service salon that you were initially starting with, and you were contemplating not going back to hair either. But then you made the same switch into a whole different like niche and everything. And like you dove into it like, I would say like just as fast.
Yeah. I mean, I think we 100% all have that in common. And what I witnessed, I mean, there were so many times I feel like Shane and I had these like kind of one-on-ones where he was like almost on the ledge. And there was one time, okay, I'm going to throw you under the bus for a second.
Okay.
So there would be times where it'd be like, okay, we need to have a little bit of a pep talk because I could tell like fear was starting to creep in and take over. And there was one day where he was like not himself. And this is when we were in the little salon suite, our little mini Muse, Polly Pocket Muse.
Because I know what you're talking about
Muse.
too. Like I'm literally in existential crisis, like drying someone's rose. And it literally took me like a half an hour to get these rose dry because I'm just sitting there like
debating your whole life.
I'm like,
and I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is not right. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, what's up? Like, you weren't yourself today. Like, your timing was like all over the place. And he was just like, I don't know. He's like, I'm really in my head. And, you know, how am I supposed to like really trust you? And he was like, I forget your exact words, but you're like, I am basically working in what did you call it? Do you remember?
Oh, like the suite?
Yes.
Oh, what did I call
it? Was so mean.
I don't know.
Did you call it? What did you call it? Like a coat closet or something?
Like a cardboard box?
I think I called it a little coat closet. I'm like, I'm working this little coat closet of a salon right now. I'm like, the school is asking for $15,000 from me right now.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm working in this little like, oh God, I wish I could remember, but the way that he said it, I was like so offended. I'm like, and he's like, how am I supposed to, and here we've got this like salon that's being built out, and it's like going to be so beautiful, but at the same time, like I understood, like, he only knows what he knew at that point,
Yeah.
and I have this whole history of building out Muse Washington. And it's like, no, I know this is going to be successful. Trust the process. But he was like, how am I supposed to trust this when we're working in this little cardboard box with no windows? We don't see the light of day.
It was a very emotional moment.
Yeah, just like a breakdown.
Yeah. I was like, whoa. I was like, hold on. And anyway, we talked it out. And
I'm pretty sure I enrolled in the academy within the next 2 days. Yeah. And I signed up. I talked to Rachel over the phone. And I literally told her to hold off the payment. Like, hold on, I don't have $500 right now, but I'm signing up. Start me, please.
Yeah. And so here we are. Like, there were many checkpoints like that. I think in the last year, we've had like a few that I can remember that were like eye to eye, like, okay, we're gonna talk this through. And we haven't had that in a very, very long time. Yeah. But it's because you did surrender and you did trust the process. And so talk to us a little bit about getting over that hump and how trusting the process has gotten to you where you are right now.
That's where I am now.
And then update people on where you are now.
Okay. So, I mean, every now and then you just get those moments of like doubt. Like every now and then, you just take a step back and you just take a view at like what you're doing. And I would get these moments of like anxiety because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm neck deep in this right now. I'm just like, what did I do? What did I do? And it's just like, just being 27 now, just being an adult, like out of school for 10 years, going back to school was hard, like working full time, doing homework at home, figuring out how you're going to pay for it each month. Because like, there'd always be something to just kind of like get rid of the negative thoughts. I'm just like, no, I'm just like everything, like commit to it, see it through. Because I would always tell myself, like, if you quit in the middle, and like you will always be upset with yourself for quitting. You'd be like, if I just stuck through and I just finished it, then to even like see the results, like, yeah, I guess what I would tell myself, I'm like, you're quitting before you can even see a result. Like nothing's even happened yet. Like all the bad things are literally just in your head right now. Nothing's happened. Just keep moving.
It's the irrational fears that get you. And like you, like Shane does, and we all get those irrational fears still, but the way that I have seen you change by trusting the process is insane and so rewarding for me as your mentor. So talk to him a little bit about now, here you are after doing mannequin after mannequin head, having an absolute ball buster of a boss who holds you to such a high standard, and like what you are experiencing behind the chair now that you are taking NBR clients. Talk about what that's doing for you, like personally as a person and also financially.
Okay. As a person, I want everyone to feel the success and progress that I feel now. Anytime I hear someone complain about something, I'm like, you can do something about that. Like, we can change it. Like, anything negative in your life, you can turn it around. Like, it's literally all in your power. It's all in your head. And you can have what you want. Like, if you just literally you can have the goal set, but I'm just like, the steps that you need to take are kind of preset by whatever your goal is you're going towards. And that's kind of what you have to surrender to.
Yeah, you just have to do the steps every day, the daily work to get to where you want to go. And you can do that.
Yeah, like you can pick your goal, but like you necessarily can't pick the work that's necessary to get there. Like, because if I picked it my way, I'm just like, I would have X-nayed all the mannequin work. Like, I don't want to work on a mannequin. Just give me clients. And but that was out of my choice. I'm just like, I knew that I wanted to be a successful hairstylist, and that doing extensions, doing NBR was going to get me there. So I'm just like, that just came along with the mannequin work, and I just had to do it. Like, it's just part of it.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
So when you have completed something, like say when you did Juliet's hair the other day, say when you cooked.
When you cooked that.
Throwing in some lingo.
How do you feel after you've cooked?
Well, Juliet, if you are listening to this at some time in the future, I did see your very nice response message about it, and it just gets you elated. Like, Like, I jump around the room like I'm a 6-year-old little kid. I'm just like, this is amazing.
And
yeah,
he
there's nothing.
Fives really hard.
Oh,
my
really
energy has to...
hard.
Like, the energy has to come out somewhere.
It just comes out in the high five. Just push you back.
I know, I see it on her face sometimes. I'm like, I need a high five. And she like braces herself.
Like gets ready. Okay.
Because I'm just like, because it's hard work. I'm like, you put in the work, because I'm like, your reward is going to be more satisfying the more work you put into it. And just like, if it really wasn't that satisfying, you just get like a little bit of dopamine. I'm like, it was probably kind of easy, a little effortless. I'm just like, I'm literally like running around like on an adrenaline high for like an hour. Because I'm just like, that took time.
We talk about that. It's like the MBR high, the full, like the whole transformation, especially when you do like new installs. Like there's nothing that compares to it. Like when you just completely nail someone's hair.
Yeah. Like, I was just doing a maintenance yesterday, and I just got like a huge ego boost. She was a 2-row maintenance just from putting in the one bottom row. And I looked at him, I was like, oh, like that color blend is perfect. And I'm like, I looked at her, I'm like, Jen, I need a second because I'm doing such a good job. Hold on.
Your hair looks so good. I just need to take it in.
I just need to take it in right now. I'm like, your bottom row, the color is immaculate right now. It's blending perfectly. Give me a second.
I know. And he'll be like, I'm that hairdresser. I get such a toxic ego.
I'm amazing. You're beautiful. This is a great day.
So good at what I do.
But like,
that's kind of it though.
Yeah.
So we were having today before the podcast, I had Shane over early for a goal setting meeting in 2024. And what his goals are now, it's like his life looks so different, but now his goals are so different. And it is, like I said, I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face. The fact that I have the honor of mentoring the people I've mentored, and Shane included, like I have no, like, it is one of the most joyful things that I do. And I feel like one of the most meaningful things that I do. But simple things like before today you were talking about how now with this extra money that he's making, things that he would have like manually done for himself, like sewing clothes, like thrifting and trying to figure out how he was going to sew them to wear them so that they looked good, or really having to like kind of grocery shop on a budget and make food and spend all this extra time. He's like, I have money now. So like, I just want to buy new clothes that I love just the way they are. And before, he's like, I kind of told myself I liked doing this because it's really all I could afford.
It was
but
like
now
a necessity.
I realize, yeah.
Like even just last night, like I just went out and just like bought a massive obscene amount of food from like one of my boyfriend's like favorite restaurants because I can. I'm just like, I literally don't have to cook tonight, so I'm not doing it. Like, I don't have to cook. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, and those are like, you know, that he's just that's barely scratched the surface.
That's just like a little out of the surface.
Yeah. So like we kind of talked about what he can make when he is full-time behind the chair, which for us in our world, 4 days a week, 2 clients a day, 8 clients a week. That's full-time at Muse. Yeah. And we talked about what those numbers look like. And I was like, how does that feel? And he's like,
doesn't feel real.
Unfathomable.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, especially coming from like the past experience that you had before, like $10 services, then to seeing like what you can make now, like that is just, it is unfathomable, like to think about, but it's a reality and that's awesome.
Yeah. So we have a goal. When is our goal for you to be doing that full-time behind the chair?
Well, the goal for me to be full-time behind the chair is, we said, was it July?
4 months.
Yeah, we said 4 months. Yeah, 4 months from now.
4 months. That's awesome. Yeah. That's so exciting.
Yeah. 4 months. And tell her when you are going to be done with the academy.
I'm going to be done from the academy and licensed by July.
All right. July. You can totally do that.
Yeah.
Totally doable.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah. You got that.
Yeah. So, but one thing that I really, really want to touch on, and I get emotional and teary, and I probably will, but where I have seen you grow in the last year, like who you were then, and you even wrote a post about it, like that Shane died. And a new one has been rebirthed. You are completely different. Your view on life, your energy, your positivity, your like living in a place of abundance. It's insane. And our clients notice it. I have clients tell me this all the time when he walks away. They're like, Shane is a different person. He is so even, like, confident.
I've seen it even just online and like the things that Julia says, like, and what you post about. I saw your post the other day too. Like, I can tell the difference and see it as well. Like Julia was saying, like the positivity, the outlook on your future. Like, I love to see that.
Yeah, like honestly, like I'm just feeling the butterflies in me right now, just thinking about it, because like just from what we were talking about, that like I was literally at a point of having the funds were so low, I was learning how to do everything that I needed. I was Googling how to work on my own car. I am not a mechanic, and I am figuring out how to do my own oil. Whereas like nowadays, like no, absolutely not. I'm like, you pay someone to do that. It's not my job. And to see like just like the financial growth, but like just like it feels so good. Like I literally just want to spread it to other people. And I'm just like, if you're not where you want to be, I'm just like, you can put your effort into the right place. You can get where you want. You can,
yes, you can create the life that you want.
Yeah. It sounds so woo-woo, but you can.
You can. You can.
Yeah, you can. You just have to trust the process.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, it's been a pleasure, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see a year from now when we have our goal setting meeting. I can't wait to see that we have slayed those goals, time for new ones, and another Shane is reborn. Thank you, because it's as much as you change, so do I. And I can't even put it into words.
It's just exciting.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah. So before we close it out, Shane, do you have any advice for people who maybe are trying to do something new, try to reach new goals, and if they're currently like struggling with trusting the process they're in, and they're in that hard time, like what advice do you have for them to get through that?
If you're going through a hard time, like trying to reach your goal, you got to surround yourself with the right people who are going to keep you motivated and, not only give you like positive affirmations, but also just like call you out when you're also like doing the process wrong. And, Julia was definitely my person for that. I mean, have your mentors and have your guides and trust in them, because it's like, that's what you need. You need like to,
Gosh, yes. And it's Cayenne, you now are in the place of mentorship, and you're doing that with you've been doing it with Vic for the last year, being the manager there, and now the owner, and now you've got this new little baby bird under your wing, Cammie, and so you understand the feeling of it's the long game. It's the absolute long game, and it's so incredible.
Yeah, it's so rewarding, because I've been on both sides now, like you're saying. And so being on this side, being the mentor and being able to like see the process from where they're starting to where they can be, and like seeing their future and the things they're going to be able to achieve. It's just, I love it. It's so rewarding to be on that side of it.
It is. And it takes a special kind of person to receive that sort of mentorship too, because we've had people try to come through our process, and they just can't. They can't open up their eyes to the possibilities, and they get blocked and they get stuck, and it just doesn't end up working out. And so, and we want to be like, but just trust the process.
Trust
like,
us.
Do what I say, and you're going to be great. But it takes that special person that can push through it themselves. So it's definitely like a mutual flowing relationship. And when it works out, it's the best thing. Speaking of mentorship, you guys, I don't know if you've heard, but we do underneath the Natural Beaded Rose education, we have a shadowing program now, which I am a mentor and an educator inside of that. So if you are interested in being mentored by yours truly, come to the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, fly into Sky Harbor, stay in one of the most bougie hotels, resorts around the salon, because there's a ton of them, and come shadow me.
Yeah, you won't regret it. Honestly, you'll learn so much just about the process of not only MBR, but just business behind the chair and the processes that Julia uses in the salon. You'll learn so much.
Yes. And of course, if you guys would like to be our guest, go to the link in our bios on Instagram. You can find us on our website. If you want to watch our beautiful faces during this podcast, check us out on YouTube. And thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.